All right. Ever wonder if, ham radio actually iterated on, their designs, or maybe your club is suffering and, you could do something with technology that might make their life easier? Well, hey, we're going to talk about that next Live Free and Ham, along with a bunch of other stuff. So all good. So, hello and welcome to Live Free and Ham Podcast. Again, this is our weekly show where we discuss ham radio topics in New Hampshire, New England, and beyond. And so we're thrilled to have you here. And so whether you're a regular listener or maybe you're just tuning in for the first time and we've had a bunch of new people checking out the podcast. We have a ton more people showing up in Discord, which I have no idea why, but it's awesome. We thank you guys for hanging out and enjoying the episode and being part of the community. So let's get into the show. As always, I'm your host, Eric, callsign N1JUR, and I'm with my co-hosts.
Hey, it's N1OG. It's Paul the Grouch.
And it's Todd, W1STJ.
The general.
Sorry, Todd. I didn't mean to throw you off there. I just wanted to get a little excitement in the podcast here.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of bring your your energy level up instead of ready to torch the village. So all right, well with that before we see what you guys miss when you're not Patreon fans, all the backstory of all the stuff before we even started the show. So
talk about how the VEs are. If you want to be a Patreon,
let's not give that away. Come on, they got to go become a Patreon.
Member and find out how smart VEs really are.
Oh no! All
right. Well, with that might get some people on there.
It will. Right? Yeah. All of those clickbait headlines always work well, right? All right. So with that, I don't know where to go with this, but our storefront, our livefreeandham.com/shop, has all of our great merch there. As always, you can head over and check out some of the new shirts that we have in the shop. I am currently working on, although I've been very methodically taking time to get this done. We got to get the many faces of the OG together there. That's going to be one of the popular ones. So, that's coming out soon, but sit tight. It's definitely in the works. I just want to make sure I get it right. Or maybe you can go pick up a bacon hammy, or a 25 pack and, get out and do some hams over, other hams in the parking lot, oh man, I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You've been with this episode for such a long time. Go get the hammies. Come on, guys. You know how it's doing here. So
get hammed.
Check it all out at gethammed.com. So with that, if you want to stay connected with our community, you can do that in several ways. Always our live stream. That's once a month. And the way you get in on that is if you aren't a subscriber currently to Live Free and Ham, head over and click that subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell. And then when we go live, you will go get notified and be able to join in on some of the cool action. And we always do that once a month. So, make sure you come hang out with us. And you can always reach us through the many ways that we offer you. You can send us an email at livefreeandham@gmail.com. You can send us an SMS message, or you can leave our favorite thing, which we don't get a whole lot of, but we'd really love to have you guys leave more messages because we'd love to have conversations around them. You can leave us a voicemail at 978-233-1142, or, if you prefer, all those links are in our show notes. And I did forget that in our Discord is super active, and we, like I said, we are growing by the day. There is a great couple of channels in there. You can leave reviews. You can just say hello if you want to be in the next shout out, or, maybe you've gotten an upgrade. We want to hear about that upgrade. You can post that in the Discord too as well. And we will definitely share it with you guys in the next episode. And we do have one this episode. So, sit tight on that. And you can always support our show. And we have a lot of great supporters. And the way you do that is you can either use the buy us a beer or buy us a coffee links for a one-time thing, or if you so are inclined and you want to continue to support us to keep the show running and us to be able to do all the really cool stuff that we do, you can become a Patreon member for as little as $3. It's jam-packed with a bunch of stuff, all the uncut and unfettered conversations that we have prior to us kicking off the show. We're going to have a lot of Patreon specific.
You can join for as little as $3 a month. It's not a big
There we go. As Bob says, $3 a month. So yeah, you come be a part of that. That's exactly what we're talking about. And, we thank you guys, all of our Patreon listeners who are current, both in the free and part of our, paid membership. We thank you guys a lot. So, all right. With that, we have one feedback message, and I'm going to roll the bean footage there. Why am I not on the button here?
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Everybody, we got some news.
Slow down, Boog. Let me handle this. We've got some news. I've got bad news and bad news.
I have reviewed ship's personnel, Captain.
Congratulations, you've got mail.
In the mailbox there, but Paul has got a WinLink message that he's so gracious going to share with us. Go ahead and take it away, sir.
All right. So WinLink message comes from Kilo Delta 9 Yankee Sierra Whiskey, and he writes, "Hey guys, I'm going to try and send out a WinLink email to this group every week. It will keep everybody in the loop other than Discord and other internet spots. This week, I was trying, This week was trying for me, both antenna-wise and, well, personal. I will be trying to make some vehicle trips this year, and I would like to get to the Northeast and a trip south to Texas. We will see what happens. Radio is the only thing keeping me sane. 7-3 Kilo Delta 9 Yankee Sierra Whiskey, Chris." And I just want to say, Chris, I feel your pain, brother. Like, I 100% feel your pain. And yes, radio keeps me sane.
Yep.
Thanks for the WinLink.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. We appreciate you sending those. We'll look forward to next week's message. We're going to keep you on the hook for that because we'd love to hear from you, even if that's the one way. But yeah, Chris, you're 100%. You always got all of us here at Live Free and Ham, like I said, Paul's hung out with you and got the great opportunity to be able to do an eyeball QSO with you. So don't feel like you can't reach out to any one of us. I've done plenty of POTAs with many new hams and folks that have reached out to me, and I've had some really good relationships, and I try to stay in touch with everybody I come in contact with because, radio is one way to communicate, but we're all human too. So let's definitely, keep each other, on the up and up sort of that. So yeah, good luck with that, Chris. Hopefully things get better, and we'll be rooting for you, and we'll definitely be with you along the way. So, keep getting those 5 9s. So awesome. With that, we're going to dive into, we're doing the Live Free and Ham thing. Keep those. Yeah, I'm going to touch base on that. Those, because I had one person ask me if that was true. Yes, Paul has on his knuckles, Live Free in, tattooed. We did not pay him to do that. We did not ask him to do that. This is something he did on his own accord. It just happens to be that it's just the coolest thing on the planet because it happens to align with Live Free and Ham. So it was kind of like a match made in heaven. So yeah, that is not a rumor.
Yeah. and what, Christ, I did it, I don't know, 8 years or so, I think, before I joined the podcast.
So there you go. You already knew way before it was going to happen.
And on his toes, it says, "and ham."
For an extra $100, it might.
Go view my only hams to see my fate and my feet.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Moving on.
What will he do next?
So the life of a skydiver. All right. So with that, we're going to dive into something that was a little bit more comfortable here.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
And now, a little something extra with Todd, W1STJ.
Still a general.
The button there, that would be helpful if I actually hit the right one there. So cool. Well, you've heard it here. This is our awesome episode where we help Todd study for his extra class license. We, the V's, Paul and I, in each episode, we pick 3 questions. Actually, Paul really does it. I just kind of sit back and take all the credit. From the
you are a V now.
I am now, right? I have the same blame too. As well.
I don't know about that. You might want to have him take the test again.
Go ahead, fine. I'll just use the internet again, like I did before.
Maybe we should change that.
Do it less of an open book, and then you'll have less VEs. I guarantee it. So if you haven't paid attention, this is your first time with this episode. This is where we pick 3 questions for us to test Todd on his extra class knowledge to hopefully get his upgrade. So you can always follow along. You can head over to hamstudy.org. It's an awesome resource. We promote it because we use it here on this show. Obviously, to test Todd, but we have recommended it to anybody who's doing the tests to get their next or first upgrade. And everybody I talked to at that VE session that I did over the past weekend, guess what they used? Ham Study. So they all know. So with that, let's hand this off to our wonderful VE Quizmaster. Go ahead, Paul. Take it away.
All right, Todd. So we are doing all the sub-elements. And this question number 1, comes from sub-element number 1. So you may remember it from way back when.
Turning up the Wayback Machine.
The question is, what is a space telecommand station? Is it A, an amateur station located in a satellite or a balloon more than 50 kilometers above the surface of the Earth? Is it B, an amateur station that receives telemetry from a satellite or balloon more than 50 kilometers above the surface of the Earth? Is it C, an amateur station located on the surface of the Earth for communication with other Earth stations by means of Earth satellites? Or is it D, an amateur station that transmit communications to initiate, modify, or terminate functions of a space station? The question again, what is a space telecommand station?
I'm going to go with B.
It's not B. I know it's D.
You know it's not B?
I know it's not B because it's in the name of the device.
What?
Telecommand. What a telecommand communicates, transmits.
Yeah. Receives.
It not just receives, but yes, I'm going to go with D.
All right. Well, Todd said B as his final answer, which is incorrect. Eric said D, which is correct. An amateur station that transmits communications to initiate, modify, or terminate the functions of a space station. So for your insider information, a telecommand station, bolded, is an amateur radio station that transmits communications to initiate, modify, or terminate the functions of a space station. Your tip: the only answer that contains the word space station.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The figures.
Figures.
Damn it.
So question number 2, Todd. In figure E6-3, as you see, what is the thematic symbol for the not operation? Is it A, number 2, B, number 6, C, number 5, or D, number 4? This is, again, the schematic symbol for a not operation. I'll scroll down. See all
it's either 2 or 4. So A or D. Let me see the picture again. I'm going to go with 2.
The picture 5 kind of sits with me, so whatever number 5 is, but I no clue.
All right.
Probably be C.
So 5 is C.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm going to go with A.
So Todd said 2, which is A. That is incorrect. Eric, you said 5, which is C, and that is correct.
Yes. Guess. Well.
So,
the only
all
reason
right.
why I remember that is because everything in schematics most of the time are triangles when it comes to knots, but just how that memory gap.
So if you look at the figure, okay, number 1 is an AND gate. Number 2 is a NAND gate. Number 3 is an OR gate. Number 4 is a NOR gate. Number 5 is the NOT gate. And number 6 is most similar to an amplifier. So the hint here is the NOT gate is the only one that has one input and one output. The NOT gate inverses the input.
Sure.
So maybe that'll help you remember there, Todd.
Or it's the only one with the triangle.
Yeah, that
Yes.
usually means it, or like all your NAND gates always like see how the schematic symbol looks like a D. That's how I remember the NAND, style of thing. So when they say NOR or not, it's either 4 or 5 most of the time. But that's just how I force myself to memorize it.
All right, Todd, listen. Okay, you're 0 for 2. Let's not strike out completely. All right. Question number 3. Where is trans-equatorial propagation most likely to occur? Is it A, between points separated by 2,000 to 3,000 miles over a path perpendicular to the geomagnetic equator? Is it B, through the region where the terminator crosses the geographic equator? C, between points located 1,500 miles to 2,000 miles apart on the geomagnetic equator? Or is it D, between points located at each other's antipode?
Okay.
I'm going with A.
That's a fancy word.
Which I have no idea what means. I'm just going to Google that one.
Don't Google it.
No, I'm going to Google the word antipode because I'm like, what the hell is that word? Okay. I'll give you the answer after. Thank you, AI.
All right. Final answer, Todd?
Yeah. What air pick?
You have to pick first.
I picked A.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to go B.
All right. So
It's
Todd said A.
It's A or C. I think it's A.
And
hey,
A
there
is
we go.
correct.
Good job. Good job.
So to give an explanation for our listeners, trans-equatorial propagation is a mode of radio wave propagation that occurs when signals travel over long distances by reflecting off the ionosphere near the equator. This allows for communication between points on opposite sides of the equator. So trans-equatorial propagation typically occurs over distances of 2,000 to 3,000 miles because that distance is the typical skip zone or the area under the path where the signal takes. The propagation path is usually perpendicular to the geomagnetic equator. This alignment with the geomagnetic equator maximizes the ionospheric reflection, enabling effective long-distance communication. So there you have it.
There you go. Well, and an antipode, all that means is it's the opposite from where you're currently located on the globe. It's the other side all the way around. So it's like literally you start from your point, the farthest way around till you get to your back point. That's antipode, or what the definition of antipode means. Fine, whatever.
Okay. Long path.
Yeah, close. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, probably. So, all right. Well, yeah. So with that, I got 2, and Todd got 1. So I don't know. What does that mean?
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
There we go. Not bad. Yeah, that's for not studying at all and only going from memory. So I'm obviously not too far into my beer, so that's probably what's got me to where I'm at.
He can't know. Mr. Einstein over here cannot know the difference between handing out a general test and
I didn't hand out the test.
You labeled them.
I did, but I didn't pick the people.
Somehow all the blame gets put on Eric. I don't understand, but okay.
That's fine. I'll take the blame. I'm just going to go.
My fellow nerds and I will retire to the nerdery with our calculators.
Did you weren't the one who passed it out though, were you?
No. And I have no idea who actually handed it out. I just know that after the fact that they handed out the wrong one.
Listen, Todd, just to clarify so that you fully understand,
and you can sleep at night.
The only task that Eric was tasked with was to bring the materials that I asked him to bring and do registration and collect money. Yeah. That is what I asked of Eric. That was his only job. And he did it. And he did it well.
I had the minimum number of flair. That's all I have to say. All right. Well, with that, if you're on the journey to studying for your technician general extra class license, then hamstudy.org is an awesome resource for getting that ticket. And as we always say every episode, if you've recently received your license or you got upgraded, we want to know. We like to recognize you on the next episode for your hard work and effort. You got your Watson program sound now?
Must be somebody walking by the
Watson
RV.
Must have got upgraded already. You never know. He wants to be recognized. So all good there. So yeah, we actually have a couple things because I was at that VE session that we've been referring to. We actually had a couple of new technicians. I don't have their names with me in front of them, but three of those folks came in person, took the test, all got their technicians. So congratulations, guys. Looking forward to hopefully seeing your call signs out there and making some contacts locally with them. There was one story real quick with one of the girls there who husband and wife team came in. He came in to get his general test and she passed the technician. And I asked her when she came up at the very end, I'm like, okay, I always ask this to everybody. Why are you getting your technician license? And what do you think the first answer was?
Because my husband told me to.
Exactly. Right. That was the exact answer. And then I was like, she must have saw my face. I was like, oh, okay, hopefully. And then she's like, no. My family in, where she used to grow up, her grandfather must have had his ham radio ticket. And she's like, when I found out from my grandmother that she had it, she had all this paperwork. And I said to her, you might want to try to get his vanity call as your call because it's very possible to do that. And she was like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, if you know what the call is and someone hasn't picked it up, you can put that request in for that and, they'll probably try to honor it for you. So, definitely figure out what that is. And if you need some help, ping me or anybody and then we'll guide you through that process. But that'd be really cool to carry on your grandfather's call if you could definitely do that. And so she was super excited when she left. But all of those folks passed. We had 4 there and 4 of them passed and 1 upgraded. So that was awesome. Or sorry, 3 of them passed and 1 upgraded. But as we alluded, and you might have seen a couple of videos on my channel when I did an activation down at Marconi's Park with Chris, Whiskey 8 CJL. And we hung out, and his son Parker, I gave him gave his dad an antenna and told him, hey, if you study for your technician exam and pass, that antenna is yours. And that happened to be the Buddy Pole Pro. Well, Chris, called me. Like, I think they ended up having to reschedule the first test for whatever reason because they were doing it online. So they rescheduled it. He took it. And Chris called me and I'm like, hey, Chris, what's going on? Because I know we were going to try to make an attempt to try to, he was coming up this way to Miller State Park for the family vacation. And we were going to try to do an activation this past weekend. It didn't work out. But, he was just like, yeah, Parker's got something to say to you, and handed me the phone. And Parker's like, I got my test. I got my technician. And I'm like, no frick away. That's awesome. So, he's got his call. And it's Kilo Charlie 1 Yankee Alpha Echo. So congratulations, Parker. I've also been talking to a couple of guys in our club. We've got something kind of brewing in the background. I don't want to release it quite yet, but I'll be in touch with you because we got some an interesting thing that I want to send your way, just as kind of a way to keep you involved in the hobby. So keep an eye on that one. I'll reach out to you soon. So yeah, congratulations, Parker. And just like Parker, guys, if you've gotten your ticket upgrade, anyone of you, or maybe you've gotten your technician for the first time, send us an email. We'd love to share your excitement with everybody there, because I have to tell you, dude, going to that VE test and watching all those people panic, but at the same time, be super strong and pass their exam, and then realize all of the blood draining back into their face after they've realized they passed is an awesome feeling to see. Like, I mean, there's a little power trip there a little bit, but at the same time, it's like hey, this is really cool. Welcome to the hobby kind of thing. And so, yeah, if you've never done, I mean, at least Todd has at this point. He's ready to, wipe out the whole VE organization, tomorrow and start fresh. It's a
but
good.
Now you understand how rewarding of an experience it is to actually be a VE.
It is, dude. There's nothing more rewarding to see somebody like take all that time, energy, and effort, and then get the result that they did. Especially folks that like even surprise you. They're like, hey, I'll take the upgrade, and they pass that too. And it's just like, man, I remember when I did it, I struggled. Like, I curse you, but congratulations anyway. So yeah, dude, it's awesome. So Parker actually told me he's working on his general too. So, with that, keep plugging away there, Parker. We'd love to hear you on the air. When I'm sure he'll probably be coming with a 24-hour POTA because Chris has already booked a spot. So, looking forward to seeing those guys and hanging out, and I'm sure he'll have no problem. He'll probably be one of our wee hours, the early morning, kind of guys taking those shifts for all of us old timers who can't, stay up later than 1, to cover all those extra hours. So there we go. All right. So with that, let's roll into our usuals. So with that, over to you, Paul. How has your ham radio week been, my friend?
Well, all right. So my ham radio week was very light on ham radio, but I did work a little bit more on configuring my ham dashboard. Dude, listen, I'm a dummy. Okay, like I was a grunt for a reason. Give me a rifle and a rucksack and send me on my way. But I'm learning. And thanks to the help of ChatGPT, I'm getting some help with the Linux stuff, but I've almost got it dialed in to where my ham dashboard is exactly the way that I want it for my current location. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create separate ham dashboards for wherever I am in different parts of the country, so that it shows relevant information for those different, locations.
Over to you.
But yeah, I mean, so listen, I'm starting to learn Linux. It's a whole new world for me, and so no different than skydiving, where it is an eternal learning process. Ham radio is the exact same way. It is an internal learning process, and so every day that I'm learning something new, I'm happy, and I consider it a success. So
very cool, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I do it for my job. I know Linux well. I understand some of the stress and pains, but it's really good and really flexible and really intuitive once you understand the language. Which you sound like you're getting your hands and your head wrapped around it. And it'll be just one more kind of tool in the toolkit, and it'll be really cool. So that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I want to see some of it. You're gonna do a freaking video on it, because I want to see some of these breakouts of the dashboard, because all I have is the geochron in the back, and that thing, it runs and does its thing. But, at the same time, I was thinking putting a smaller screen down below it that would, be that, ham clock with the customized dashboards with weather and cameras and stuff like that. But
yeah, so once I finish figuring out the workaround to getting websites that don't like to load in an iframe, to load in the iframe, then yeah, I'll 100%, like I'll share that knowledge with everybody.
Sweet. Awesome. Okay. Well, no traditional radio, but hell, it's still ham radio stuff. Awesome stuff. All right. Well, with that, over to you, Todd. What's your ham radio week been like, if at all?
Well,
Todd's been doing some programming.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been programming my new radio. I'm hopefully installing it tomorrow.
Okay.
I am off tomorrow. I got to bring my son to basketball camp. I got to get some blood work, and then that's my goal. So,
well, give me a holler if you need some help. I will probably be free mid-afternoon for you.
All right, come on over.
Okay.
Yeah, and feel free to give me a shout too, and we'll
do a remote session there. You can make fun of them the whole time.
Video chat so that I can make fun of you and just give you shit.
Hey Todd, wrong side of the screwdriver. Todd, no, you don't use that end of the drill. No.
It'd be a little bit easier if you used a fish tape.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's basically about it. I really got to get it into my Jeep. I've been looking at things and kind of planning it out in my head, programming the radio and stuff. So,
did you get any further with the buttons, the aux buttons and everything?
Well, I was trying to look at it on my phone, but my eyes suck and I couldn't read the freaking PDF. So, I gotta pull it. I gotta pull it up. I have the thing in the car, but I'm gonna pull it up when we're done with this. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen so I can at least see it, because I couldn't see it yesterday. But yeah, the plan is there's some aux buttons, so I think I can somehow connect it to that and use that as the on-off button. So
sweet.
But everything else is
back on the air.
Yeah, everything else is ready to go. The antenna that'll be the first thing I'll install and wire, and then it'll just be the wire for the radio. But it shouldn't be as hard as, we already did it once, so I kind of know how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Good.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to get on the repeater and go CQ, CQ, CQ.
No, I don't do that anymore. No.
They all been missing you on Ford Mountain repeater, my friend.
I know. Anthony's like, "Where have you been?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been off."
At this point, I'm tired of making excuses for Todd, because I'm like, he hasn't had time to put his radio in his car. It's not like he doesn't want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna do it today, but my lawnmower blades were shot, so I had to go to Lowe's to get lawnmower blades, and then there's like 2 people working there, and half the self-checkouts weren't working. So the lines were huge. So I'm sitting there wasting time. Then I had to come home, and I did mulch yesterday, or at least half of it. And I couldn't even sleep last night. I was up till 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. My back and forearms were killing me. So I'm like, fuck, I am so out of shape. So I slept until like 10, did that, finally got the blades, cranked those things on because there's 2 of them, cut the grass, and then I finished the mulch, undid a bed in our guest room that we were giving away because we're putting Zach's bed in there, and Zach's getting a double bed or a queen size bed. So did that and jumped in the pool, came home, had someone's leftover salad that they never ate that they bought for dinner, and here I am.
Only life of a bachelor or maintenance man.
Dude, it's just all work. And it just sucks because I'll tell you right now, the best thing I've ever bought for my house and has made my life so much easier is my Polaris Ranger. I will recommend that vehicle for anyone that lives in the Northeast or anywhere there's snow, or if you have to spread mulch, because it's got like a dump truck thing in the back. You fill the thing up with the mulch, you drive over, you drop it down, Zach, spread. And that's how it works.
Why not just get a Kubota?
Well, what, like a tractor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
then you could have the bucket, and you could have the backhoe.
All right. Well, see, again, if I could do it over again, or if I had a farm, I probably would get a tractor. But the Ranger has been awesome. And I did a lot of research when I did buy it, because it's probably like 5 or 6 years old now. When I did buy it, I went and checked all of them. John Deere, Katana, every one that I could find around here. And the only one that is really good for snowplow and it has the power is the Polaris. Like most of them only do 30. This thing will max out at 50. It's scary as shit. Like at 50 miles an hour on the road on knobby tires, it's not very safe. But
you don't need 50 miles an hour plow.
No, dude.
But it has that.
What do you get into, a fire?
Yeah, it has that power.
It's like, I'm going to speed plow my driveway.
But that thing is plowed, like, seriously, it is plowed like 2 feet of wet, sloppy snow. And it just handles it, and it does it. And then that's all I thought I was going to be using it for. But now, like the mulching, dragging shit from the shed to the deck, anything. Going to get, like, my mother needs something, I just bring that thing out and cruise down the road to, she lives 2 houses down, drop something off for her, go pick something up.
It sounds awesome. Like more you need to do a little bit more walking, but whatever. You did say you were out of shape earlier. Might want to start there. Just a suggestion, my friend. I
can start walking, but
circle of trust here.
It's just, I
don't know why you want to rush down to your mom's house so quickly.
Yeah, well, she has a huge hill. Her driveway is a freaking nightmare. So, but like I said, it was a good investment. And if it wasn't so damn loud, I'd put a ham radio in it. But it's so loud. And since we're going to be talking about technology, this is one of the things that I was thinking about that would be really helpful for ham radio.
Put it on your lawnmower?
No, we'll get into it when we get into it. But for now, I'm going to ask you, Eric,
on the air.
What'd you do this week for ham radio?
All right. Well, I'm trying to think, man. Did I get any real ham radio in this week? I said a lot that I wanted to do it, but I don't think I actually did. Like, this is one of those things. It's like this whole week was freaking cluster. And
well, hold on, Eric. You're totally forgetting, right? Dude, you started a whole new weekly stream.
Oh yeah.
Where you talk about ham radio.
True. Well, POTA specifically, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate the honest plug there, my friend. I did. I think I did mention it last week when we started. That was the first episode, and yeah, week 2. A pretty good crowd. I'm learning that live streaming is pretty fun. It's definitely one of those things that, you definitely got to go a little bit more prepared and pull all the right levers, but everyone's pretty good about it. And, we talked about POTA this week, and primarily, all of the questions. I went through Reddit. I went through the Dumpster Fire Facebook group for POTA. I went through the Discord, just pulling all like the typical questions you see all the newbies come in and post, and then everybody does the eye roll and then goes, didn't you consult blah blah blah, and then they sort of lighten up the load a little bit and answer the person's question. So we tore into that. It was pretty cool. I think we kind of came to consensus it'd be kind of cool to put together an ebook of all this stuff, so people are contributing some good stuff there, and so we'll start building upon that one. So it'll kind of be what I'll call the Holy Bible, or at least the complete Bible of POTA. So if you're new ham, you can basically consult everything in it, and we'll just make it community focused so everybody can update it, and it'll be a cool resource. So
how many?
Now hold on, can we all get publishing rights on the POTA Bible?
Oh yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah, if you contribute. Yeah, if you contribute, as long as you get like a legit contribution, and you want to put in, then yeah, we'll definitely give you the rights at it'll probably be a book and a half of its own of all the people that contributed. But at the same time, yeah, dude, this is a community effort. I don't want to own it. I'll maintain it and help, folks, continue to keep it running. But I think it would be a good resource for folks because, I don't know how many times we've run into it. I always go to do, presentations and stuff at clubs, and I always get the, what do I have to do to get into POTA? How do I become a hunter? And all those things and everything in between. So, having something like that, a resource wise, it sounded like it was a good effort. So we'll keep plugging away on that one. But here's a little tidbit for those that like a little drama. That Sunday morning thing is going to be about a little drama. We're going to dive into some of the underbelly topics. So like when we talk about the poor activators who are jackholes and decide to pad their, all their activations and really not, and you kind of just talk around that stuff and, share, because it's funny, Shannon was on there, Casey went TOY, and she was sharing how she had a similar experience. And I said, yeah, we got a whole episode that we're going to talk all about that stuff. So if that interests you,
Tango Victor Zulu.
Yep, exactly. Our WTF. So yeah, we'll call it that episode. So yeah, I guess that was fun. That would happen this morning today. And
how many people do you have on?
At that time I had 14. So the previous one was 7. So it's growing. I know
there you go.
Growing. So yeah, dude, I didn't see any of you guys, but I figured you guys were all sleeping in.
Oh, dude, I apologize.
You're probably jumping.
I was sleeping in.
I was definitely not. I was up at 6 a.m.
You were probably jumping at that point, trying to work on your B license now. Is that what you're working for now?
Yeah.
So there you go. So you're off the hook. It's Todd that I figured was sleeping, but at the same time,
I was sleeping. I was up till 4 in the morning.
I see enough of you guys, so you're good. No problems there. But yeah, it was fun. So I was supposed to do an activation with Parker and Chris. They were coming up this way for the weekend to stay at Miller State Park. I had some conflict in the family schedule that just didn't let me break free. But Parker, he posted in our Discord, he said he actually activated the park or didn't activate under his own call. He helped his dad do a butt to nut, contacts so they could put themselves over to get the 10 or 12 contacts that they needed to activate the park. But he got his one contact, so I encouraged him to upload to POTA. Even though it was a failed activation for him, it's still an activation, so it's good to get that in the logs. And yeah, he's having a blast. So good for him, and good to see that father son are doing some cool stuff with POTA. And they had a blast. They actually activated your park, I think, on Sunday, or maybe it must have been Sunday. And I was like, oh, where did you activate? Because there's a secret watering hole that a certain N1OG goes to all the time. And he didn't get back to me on where he was. But it sounded like.
So the funny part of that is he DM'd me a picture, right? And he goes, hey, guess where I'm activating? And I knew, because looking at the water and looking at the rock that's in the water, I was
So
like, I know that spot. Okay. I'm like, I know that spot. Like, yeah.
So he found it. Awesome. Good.
Well, I guess, so what he said was about, like 20 plus or so years ago when he was in high school, like that was the spot to go, hang out and party and go fish and do whatever. Wow. And so I was like, well, it's a great radio spot too. So I'm glad I got out there and activated my favorite spot.
Cool. Yeah, Elon had your throat there a little bit, but you're back.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, so if I knew he was going to be over in that neck of the woods, not that Miller State Park is not that far away from there either way. So, I wish I could have broke away. Sunday would have been a better day, but I didn't know he was going to activate on Sunday. So, yeah, bummer to that, but awesome that he got, New Hampshire on the, his, states activated. And it was good for him to, experience New Hampshire in the POTA world. So good stuff. I heard he struggled a lot because we had that impending storm roll through here with a lot of thunder crashes and stuff. So he was like constantly battling all that back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I was looking at the radar map going, I don't know, should I go? Can't convince the wife otherwise. So the weather kind of turned me the other way. So, but hey, yeah, you stuck it out, man. Keep it going. Awesome. All right. So yeah, outside of that, that was my ham radio week. So yeah, let's kind of dive into our tonight's topic. We touched on it a little bit, but one of the things kind of sparked my thought about this topic was kind of from our VE session that I did on Saturday. Now, I had some conversations with a few older gentlemen in our VE team, and they were super excited and enthralled with the whole VE and exam tools and just how simple it was, and in comparison to how they spent hours and hours doing all of their VE testing as a labor of love kind of thing, and all the errors that it basically eliminates. And I was like, I can't tell you how many times I've had those conversations, and it's like, we as hams don't always think, how can we take something and improve upon it or make it better or stop doing it in the way that it's taking so long, because we forget that we do this because we started as a labor of love, or we did it because it was something fun and we saw the reward out of it, that in turn it became a slog, and we just continue to do it this way over and over again. And this kind of goes across all areas of ham radio. And I think, that's a small example. Another simple example is like, how many times do we have radio manufacturers put out the same rough radio, but they provide features and upgrades that are like, why aren't you making our lives easier? Like, why aren't you implementing like smart things to like make all the conversation we just had earlier with Todd talking about programming channels and stuff like that? Why can't you make something like intelligent that like uses Bluetooth to go to the web to pull down where you're at by location with GPS that's already built into a radio kind of thing? And so that's what we're talking about tonight. Like what creature comforts that we have in our radios today, or features that we would love to see that makes things better. And it doesn't even have to be radios. It could be like club activities, like simple thing for me. Like, why don't clubs stop accepting checks and cash these days? Like, I get it, but at the same time, it makes things so much easier for the people that have to manage all of that stuff to be able to, have to deal with, the passing of hands and all this stuff. Just make it simple. Like, everybody just pay via your credit card for your dues and be done with it and be done with that. And like, do it automatic, like every other subscription service that we're all tied ourselves to for the rest of our lives. So, that kind of stuff that got me thinking. And so I threw it out to the guys here and said, hey, come up with some stuff because, we definitely would love to see, some of those ideas. And maybe, if you're one of those tinkerers, it might spark you to think about doing something like that. So, all right, who wants to start? Todd, you sounded like, you had a couple there. Let's go with you. What were you thinking in terms of around that ideology and whatnot?
Well, one of the things that, Bluetooth right off the bat, like Yaesu has kind of they used to have a Bluetooth thing, but it only worked with their headset, which to me is just the big FU to their people. Like, why not just make it Bluetooth for any headset? Because your headset really sucks and there's a lot better ones out there and I can't use any other ones. Or a Bluetooth speaker, which would make life easier for in the car. I mean, now that the 510 and the 500 have speakers, built into the head, which is cool, but all their other radios don't. So Bluetooth would be awesome. I was talking earlier about the Polaris Ranger. Well, the thing's kind of loud, so it would be cool to have. I'd put a radio in there if it had Bluetooth, because I have to wear these headphones or these earpieces that are noise canceling, just because the thing's so damn loud. And I like to listen to podcasts or listen to the, like today I was listening to the baseball games and stuff while I was working. So if a ham radio had Bluetooth, it would just open up a lot of different things and people could use, and be able to even connect your, with the Bluetooth, you'd be able to connect your ham radio right to probably your car speakers. And you might be able to even, even have an app for it to, like on CarPlay, or what does Google use? Google Cars,
Android Auto, or
Android Auto.
Right. Like almost every car now has that built into it, any newer car that you get. So that would be kind of cool to be able to connect to something like that. And so, that's just my thought. I don't know why radios don't have Bluetooth in it, because it doesn't seem like the technology everything has Bluetooth in it except ham radios. My watch.
Some do. Definitely like the 705's got Bluetooth in it.
Is it is it regular Bluetooth or is it Yaesu Bluetooth?
Well, let me say that the Bluetooth implementation in the 705 is better than the Yaesu's version, but it's from what I understand and from what I hear from people, it's not. It could be better refined, but it's better than what we get with the Yaesu side of stuff. So
right. Well, I guess like I said, I don't know. Bluetooth is in everything. It's in my watch. It's on every headset, every, non-wired headset you have. It's in your car. Everything is somehow connected to Bluetooth. And, why not just put it in there? It's not like it's hard to do. But for some reason, it just hasn't been a topic.
Well, I don't. There are some obviously limitations with it in terms of why they don't do it, but I don't think that's something that anybody can't overcome, because there are Chinesium radios that use Bluetooth and they do it decently. So right.
Well, that's what I mean.
Take a page out of their book.
Well, I just don't know why they don't do it. Think of it this way. Like, it would be like I have these bone conducting headphones that they just kind of go over, and because my ears get irritated if I, put like the AirPods or whatever in. So how cool would it be to be able to take my HT, right, stick it on a bag, have my Bluetooth button as my talk receive like I use on my Flex when I'm using the iPad, and have that headset on, and then, have a little mic and have it all connected, just like we do with the cameras. I mean, then you could like have your radio, you could connect it to your backpack or whatever. You don't have to have it on your hip. You don't have to have it like in your way. It could be in the back, and you have all easy access to it without having like 1,000 wires coming to you. So, I mean, again, there's just a lot of things that would open it up. And I honestly think and I think on the 500 and the 510, it's like an extra module you have to pay for to get. Like, why? Why are you so fucking cheap? Like, yeah, it's bullshit. It's like, just put it in there, because I just spent like freaking $500 in your fucking radio, and it doesn't have, everything has Bluetooth in it now, including Quan Chang's. Like, just put it in there and suck it up. But
I think that was their response, and this is my opinion only. That was their response to all the people that bitched about the fact that it only worked with one headset. And so they said, all right, we'll make it optional then. And then that way you don't have to worry about, we don't have to hear the complaints all the time of, you saying it doesn't work with my Bluetooth headset.
Right. So you come out with the 510, right, with the rasp or whatever to make the weak signals.
Good feature.
Like, right. But why not just throw it in there? Like, how much does it freaking cost to put a Bluetooth module in a radio?
I don't know. You want me to get into a 1F rant now or not?
Well, but that's what I don't understand why they wouldn't, like, who's sitting there designing the radios and isn't thinking, wow, it'd just be good. We should just put Bluetooth in it because everything else in the world has Bluetooth, that they say, no, we're not going to do that.
It's probably like a 60-year-old guy who's been doing radio since, the dawn of time.
Right.
Yeah, I'll tell you, right. It's an engineer. It's an engineer.
Yeah.
And what do engineers do the best? They overcomplicate the simplest fucking shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, they're not thinking simple, like just put universal Bluetooth. They're overcomplicating it, and they're like, well, no, it has to be Bluetooth for our fucking shit.
well, right. Like why? But like I said, Bluetooth is so common in 2025. Like everything has Bluetooth in it. Like, my phone, when it searches Bluetooth in my house, I have to like scroll through because there's so much Bluetooth trying to connect to it.
Well, okay, so keep in mind that like those implementations of Bluetooth, if you remember when Bluetooth first came out, it was shit. It was like the same stuff we have with the Bluetooth now with our ham radios. So I just don't think that they have the right engineering.
2002?
Yeah, right.
It's 2025.
Like, hey, connect, and it would connect, but then you get nothing. You disconnect, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm connected again, and then you start talking, and it would disconnect, randomly.
Well, now,
so all of those things have been fixed.
Yeah, so now that it's fixed and all worked out, all the kinks are worked out, it's a dime a dozen. Just put it in the radio. Like, what is the problem?
The chip is easy, but I think the piece that we don't see, that is probably what I hear from a lot of folks, is that you got to have someone engineer that whole latency thing between, radio RF and the Bluetooth component. Like when you're talking on a phone, it's much different than because that's duplex versus like a radio, which is, half duplex where you.
So how does my Flex work on my iPad when I have the button to do the push to talk and I have the headset in?
Because it's using the Bluetooth implementation that's on the iPad, not the Flex.
Right.
Flex just says, oh, it's an audio stream, and then takes the audio stream.
Okay, so if the iPad has it, my phone has it, and even my ancient iPod has it, why can't the radio have it? Why does it have to be so complicated? Why can't they just put it in there?
To do it in? Because they have to have a person to, like, so here's the biggest problem is, like, you've got a bunch of 60-year-old old guys, and you put this Bluetooth thing in. What do you think that they're going to get for tech support calls all the time? And they probably do now. It's like, I tried this Bluetooth thing and it doesn't work with my hearing aids. Why won't it work? I want it to work with my hearing aids, and like John Crook has said it all the time. And I'm not using this as an excuse because I want something like that but I want it for something a little different. I'm going to share with you in a bit because I think it'd be cooler than just having Bluetooth. But yeah, I think it's like, it's finding the right people that are smarter and newer and younger in those organizations to be able to build that technology in, because I'm sure it's there. Motorola does it with their radios.
Listen, Eric, it is not something that needs to be engineered. It exists. It everywhere.
It does.
Someone in Yaesu,
KI1P, and he'll tell you how and why,
right,
because I understood it.
Someone in Yaesu just needs this. Just call the shots. Don't have any meetings. Don't talk to any engineers. Don't ask if you could do it. Just say just say we're putting Bluetooth in all our radios. Period. Done. And this stuff where you have to pay extra for it is crap.
I agree, but
I mean,
that was their response, like I said, because they've got too many people bitching about how fact it doesn't work. So,
but
hey, okay.
But does Bluetooth not, I mean, how many times lately in the last, say, 3 years have you had any problems with anything Bluetooth?
I think one or two, but not like
1 or 2 in 3 years.
So I've had one problem with Bluetooth, and it's been ham radio related. If you saw my video where I did that stupid Bluetooth device that did CAT for the 891, someone sort of tried to build it, but it only worked with one application, which happened to be an Android app on an iPhone, on a Android phone, FT8CN. And that's the only app it worked with. Like, so you're back to Yaesu's, it only works with our Bluetooth headset because that's what we got to work with. So there is obviously some technical design issues, but it can be overcome, as I guess what I'm trying to say is that, yes, just throw people at the problem and it will solve the issue for everybody and they'll enjoy you better.
Okay, so I guess I have to find it because I don't know this. If you paid extra for the Bluetooth component on the new 500 or 510, is that Yaesu Bluetooth or is that just universal Bluetooth?
It's universal 1 and 2.0 Bluetooth. We're up to version 4 or 5 now with Bluetooth. Why didn't they just put 5.0 in there? Why did they buy the cheap shit that I'm not smart enough, and we should probably get the smart people on to have that conversation. Not the sales product folks, but the smart people.
But that's what I mean. It's like it's almost like they're like they run their operation like a government. Like, let's just get the cheapest shit we can get and charge the most amount of money.
We're in trouble now.
Well, I mean, you said it's like a 2.0. Why not put the new stuff in that works?
Because it works with a 10-year-old stupid Jabra headset that we saw in the 1990s that we were like, oh, this is awesome. Go, Paul.
we need to change Todd from still a general to the other Grouch.
So TOG, we'll call him Tog. The other Grouch. We have OTO and
listen, just because you're in a good mood today doesn't mean you have to be picking on me. I'm making some good points. Anyone watching this podcast, if you think that it was a smart idea for Yaesu to put the Bluetooth 2.0 if we're up to the 5.0 and not just put in the latest shit, to me is just, it's stupid and there's no reason to do it. And then they charge you for shit that's old news. I
agree.
So I mean that's what I would want in number one is we should have all the luxuries of technology in 2025, like Bluetooth, should be in radios. It should just come as it's just part of the package. It's just there.
Okay. I agree 100%. I think it's important to have something like that for sure. All right. So what do you got, Paul?
Well, all right. So when you presented this topic idea, I had to think hard about it. It's like, well, where in my experience, right, would some new form of technology be beneficial? And the biggest thing that I could come up with, the biggest thing was I've had my eyes on the ID50 for years. And even though like the ID52 is out and then the ID52 Plus and the anniversary edition, right? And there's all this, but it all started with the ID50, with the ability to be able to connect it to your phone. And Vero actually does a really good job with this. But just to be able to find the local repeaters around you and send that to your radio. To me, that is that is something that should be built into everything at this point, right? Like, no matter where I go in the fucking country, I want to be able to say, all right, look, this is where I am. Find the local repeaters and just throw that shit into my radio.
Or not even like have you do a damn thing, like determine it from GPS. Like you're driving down the road, your GPS coordinates change. Guess where the next 5 repeaters are?
Yeah, just auto update my repeaters as I'm driving down the East Coast, like, so that way, I'm not stuck on 14652, right? Where, like, okay, I cross into Delaware and it goes, oh, here's fucking 5 Delaware repeaters. I cross into fucking Virginia. Oh, here's 5 Virginia repeaters. Like, to me, that's just one of those things that in this day and age, it should just be built into fucking everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Although, Team ICOM for the win, I still want an ID50. So,
okay.
Someday.
I definitely agree with that. Like, so here's the other caveat I think I'd add to that would be along tying in Todd's Bluetooth woes, that Bluetooth should be more data driven in the sense that my mobile or my app, or I should have a mobile app on my phone, Android or Apple, what doesn't matter, that when I'm in front of my radio, if I want to load said list, so like where Todd's been talking about programming all his 510 and all that stuff, and he's doing it via SD card. SD card is an upgrade from the old cable way, but it's only a small baby step because we should be able to take that Bluetooth module, connect it to our phone, engage the app and say, hey, I'm in this area because my phone saw it via GPS, and push a list or push a manual list right to the radio, Bluetooth wise. And now you're programmed because I can see the positives in Aries for that, for quick, manipulation. I can see it for being on the road. I can see it when Todd's like, hey, I want to go up to Gunstock, and I can't remember the Gunstock repeater and where it is in the list of 500 or 125 stations I have.
Or just have an app that can do it.
Right, and just push, like the app would be your interface to be able to push whatever you want.
Location services on. Oh, you're in the Lakes region.
Yep.
Find all repeaters
on your radio.
Update on the radio, and then just be within the range and do it.
Totally. Yeah, right. I think that is a missed opportunity to make your radio experience better, and I think that's like kind of one of my things that I was thinking along the line. So. I definitely Yezu has failed in that area and really missed a good opportunity. ICOM's sort of did a okay implementation with it. I think that they could have done better and improved upon it every year, especially with software. I think the one thing we're missing most now that I think is just so ridiculous that we don't have these days, everything is ID'd, meaning every device you have in some form or fashion can be ID'd either over the air or whatever. And I think because of the infrastructure we have today and whatnot, that we should make it mandatory, or at least get to the place that every device, every ham radio that's out there, if I'm plugging my call sign into the radio, I'm not just doing it for digital. I should be able to do it for analog. My ID should go over the repeater. So here's my thought with this is that if I'm on a repeater and I go ahead and key up, when I key up, my call sign goes over the air. It should go to some computerized interface at the repeater site that says, hey, these are the 5 people that have logged on or keyed up the machine in the past hour or whatever. I can then go up to a central app, or I can go up to the repeaters app on the internet, and I can see that Paul's keyed up in the past 5 minutes or whatever. Because how many times we all complain that, the repeaters are dead. Nobody's out there. No one's IDing. Well, yeah, I might ID'd 5 minutes before you turned your radio on, but it's not going to be, known to you that I've ID'd, but I'm still out there listening, hoping that you'll ID, but you're not IDing. So, just being able to do that. I know we do that with digital, but it should just be over the analog side too, as well, that, you can take that data and then push it to your club website and say, hey, these are the 8 people that are currently logged in the past hour. And you can go to that, or you can go to an app, which, one of the things that I'm really pushing more with, I'm seeing a lot more is those bio sites. Like you see all these little people that have the bio information and stuff like that. Every club should just have a freaking bio site that has that link in it.
A lot of us are really smart. I'm really smart.
That, you can ultimately like see who's on the repeater in the past 15, 20 minutes, because that'd be freaking cool, because that'd be like, oh, I knew Bill and so-and-so talked earlier, and I could, see if they're still around, But yeah, take that technology and stretch it. I mean, it's sad that it's not being used now.
Why do you think?
All right. Anybody else got a cup?
It's not being used. Why do you think it's not being used? You think it's because in the ham radio world,
you might have to pull your your Mickey Mouse again. Speaking of tech, it's not being used in the sense that unless you're on the digital side, under like Fusion or whatever, your ID, your call sign doesn't show up anywhere else. Like analog, it doesn't get transmitted.
Yeah, it is better.
You were a little bit, yeah. Keep talking. It'll probably catch up.
All right. So why isn't it? Why doesn't that happen?
I think my guess is, and I'll say it this way.
Or why do you think it's not happening?
Well, one, because nobody likes digital, or the small group of people that do like digital, there's a bigger audience that hates digital and will complain about it till the cows come home. So why can't we do that, ID and component on analog and just use a little bit of the, spectrum or whatever we need to do to make that work on the digital side in the analog world? And two, it would save a lot of time for like, just seeing who's on your repeater. Like, if I was a repeater owner, I'd love to find out who's on it without having to sit around all day and listen to who logs on to my repeater. Right. Like if I was Ryan, I'd be like, I want to know how many people logged in my machine today. There's no identifiable information unless you're in a certain, echo space or eco space, like, Fusion or DMR or whatever that stuff. So
what about recording?
They can record. You just have to do that. They have to build that stuff in the repeater. But I think the repeaters.
And who wants to review those recordings?
Not me. No.
well, this is what I was thinking. Like, so look, I get everyone has Ring cameras, right? So if you set it up, if there's motion or someone walks up or a vehicle comes in your garage, it alerts you. It says, oh, there's a vehicle at your garage, right? So that would be something like you could do with the repeater and say, oh, someone's on the repeater, it sends you an alert to your phone if you sign up for it, and it says, oh, N1JUR and W1STJ are on the repeater.
Yep.
Like on ham alerts, right? Like ham alerts, kind of works that way.
I mean, repeaters should be smarter. That's, where I'm probably going. They should have more of those smarts built into it with, being able to like leverage them so people can enjoy them more and get something out of them value-wise.
Because I think it's important. I
mean, send your tips for making repeaters smarter to the ham radio workbench.
Yeah, I know, right?
George will figure it out.
He will, that's for sure. Yeah, I think that would be something worthwhile. Anyway, you got go ahead. You got another one?
I think this is a good topic, and I think people that are listening to this, and then if for some reason Yaesu people are listening to this, or any manufacturers listening to it, is things are changing. Like, we need to get younger people into ham radio, right? So our club is really focusing on getting younger people involved doing ham radio. Well, to get younger people and their generation involved with ham radio, they're going to want to, they've been born with this technology. So why would they would want to see some of that technology put into ham radio? So like, if you don't have, if you give a kid and you say, hey, here's a scanner my grandmother has, and it has a crystal in a chip, and it has this frequency on it, and you can listen to this frequency all day long. The kid's gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna go buy the one that I can put any frequency in, right? Without the stupid chip.
Sure.
Right? Remember those scan had the 6 dots that would go by and put in the chip for each channel. So I guess what I'm saying is, if technology, the simple stuff that younger kids, younger generations are so used to having, that they've been born with, grown up with stuff like Bluetooth, right? Like the millennials have always had Bluetooth. They've never not had it, right?
Question for you. Is Zach gaming? Kick him off. I think he's causing your internet connection to go wonky.
No, it's here in the
Yeah, you're now getting into that little like it's choppy, like your internet's cutting in and out on you. You had some good points, but we were like, I got like every third word of that, and I was just like, okay, I can kind of stitch that together, but no one else gonna be able to hear you.
Well, he's his computer's here in the office, so I don't know if it's in the next time.
No, yeah, you're getting back to that robot voice again. Something's happening. Damn internet. Oh man, hey Paul, you got anything while Todd's dealing with technical difficulties again?
So here's the thing, right?
Where's
I get an echo.
I do too.
Yeah, it's when Todd unplugs.
Okay.
I'm a techno dummy, and so like I'm not the person to ask for like advice on where technology should go. I'm the guy where you go, hey, listen, you're a fucking dummy. Can you take this thing that we've developed and can you make it work? Right?
Or more so make it work better, because a lot of times you make shit work way better than it's supposed to ever work out of the box. So you can't classify yourself in that group, but yeah, go on.
Okay, but so I mean, all right, like you take the ham clock for example. Okay, so when ham clock first came out, it was fantastic, but there was a lot of flaws, and so it took a whole bunch of people using it to go, hey, listen, this needs to be improved, that needs to be improved, blah 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 blah, right? And then the improvements then came.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I would love to play with some new technology in ways of connecting my analog radios to digital modes to get me to be able to use my radio more efficiently, if you will, right?
Sure.
Because for me, it's all about efficiency. I want to spend less time setting things up and more time actually playing with them.
Yeah, I agree.
And I know Todd's like a big time appliance operator, and there's no shame in that. Not at all.
What do you mean appliance operator?
Like you just want it to work the way that it's supposed to work. You just want to be able to run a program and just have it work. You don't want to have to troubleshoot shit and figure it out, right?
Right.
Whereas, I mean, I don't mind so much because it helps my learning process, you know, of having to be like, okay, well, yeah, the way that you did it was okay, but you know, if you just did it this way, it'd be better. And that's just, I don't know, that's just me. Like, I like to learn and play with things that will help me learn.
Okay.
And I don't think that there's enough in the ham radio community of people going, hey, here's something new. I want people to play with it and then give me feedback.
Okay.
Right.
So
I think we need more of that. I think we need more of the individual ham radio people that can develop the software, can develop the applications for our phones and whatnot to just create something new and go, hey, here it is, play with it. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
And all right. I'm sorry. I don't want to totally cut you off, but I just want to finish my thought.
Yeah.
But all right. So that's where I think like people like Sebastian, Ham2K, right? Super good at doing that. He put out, hey, here's my logging software. It's shit right now, but I want you to try it and give me your honest feedback. Like, I've been a beta tester since the beginning, and I absolutely love that Sebastian is so receptive to all of our input.
Totally.
You know, like, dude, I sent him a message and I'm like, look, I'm running a Kindle Fire tablet because that's what I use when I'm out in the field, because it was cheap and it was affordable and it's what I've got. And I love what you're doing, but now it's not working for me. And he works with you and he troubleshoots and goes through it and gets it working, gets it figured out. Right. And
right.
So all I'm saying is I think that there needs to be more hams that step forward with that kind of software development kind of mindset to say, hey, I've got an idea. Let's make this better. And here, take it and test it. Give me your feedback and we'll keep building and improving.
Yeah, there's a thing in the software world called build groups, and companies used to do these, and I think they still do them, but basically they would have a whole bunch of guys and gals in a company, software company, and be like, hey, this is your time. You got a week to do whatever you want, and you can build whatever you want. You can design whatever you want. You can build software, and then you got a week to build it. You have a little bit of a budget from us, and then you guys all meet like at the end of the week to talk about like and share all of your tools and stuff like that. I think those need to be more prevalent per se in the ham radio world, where we're less about like, hey, I build something and then I make a business out of it, which I get it. You got to earn a living, but we all know ham radios. And I did a video on this a while back, and part of it was like, it was talking about Ham Shack Hotline going away, but at the same time was more expanding upon the idea of that, hey, what are we doing to support the businesses that are out there, like creating some of this stuff, because they're going to be just another one of those companies on the chopping block kind of thing, because they had an idea, but it's not, it doesn't pay the bills a lot. So, having that community-based stuff is important.
It is super disappointing to see that Ham Shack Hotline is going away.
Yeah. Although I think Ham VoIP, Hams over IP is stepping up to fill that gap a little bit. And so, because once I put that video out, I've gotten a lot of people going, you should go over to Hams over IP. I'm like, I am on Hams over IP. You don't have to tell me. I just need to switch my phone at this point. But here's the thought. It's like, I've got all of my, all-star nodes and all of those other super nodes all on the other platforms. So I got to now switch them all over, and, who's handling and helping with that load. But I think, one of the things I was trying to think of, and I know we kind of started with all the equipment stuff. I was trying to think like, okay, well, what have we run in? And you sort of touched upon it software wise, there are things outside of the conventional stuff that we have, meaning like applications and ham logs that, we all go, why the fuck do we still do this kind of thing? And here's an example. How many log formats do we have? Anybody have a rough idea? Yeah, like the log formats when you submit to certain logging. I think Elon nabbed Paul there.
When you say log, you mean for every
any log. So like when you export your log file for a contest or something like that, they want it in a Cabrillo format. Or like when you do Winterfield Day, they do it in an ADI format. Like there are numbers of different logs out there. Why can't we standardize on one log like format and incorporate all of those features into one format and just call it one log and all agree that this is the one format that we standardize on, instead of saying, oh, you do Cabrillo, or we only accept ADI, or we accept only whatever, fill in the blank of the next log.
Kind of like a fight between beta and VHS, right?
You're in and out again, Paul. Todd, sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry, bud.
I might be in and out too. I don't know.
You're back now. You were frozen. Elon had your tight grip. So hey, why not?
But
well, this is technology.
100% though. It is a giant pain in the ass if you're not a regular contester to participate in a contest and submit an ADIF log, which I mean that's generally what I generate. But then they want Cabrillo or they want something else, or if you need to upload it to fucking LOTW, like goddamn, what just make it one fucking standard.
Why do we need so many extra added fields? Like I get like some contests like, oh, we want to track this stuff, but like come to a standard. Like everybody should just like, there should be a governing board that says, hey, enough of this crap. Let's just all decide that this is going to be the standard. Like Bluetooth is an example. There's a governing board of volunteers and people and companies that all get together and say, we're going to do these standards formats. This is how it's all going to work together for everybody. So for the common good kind of thing. Why can't our log files just be like, they're all called .ham files and that they consist of everything that they need and all the field values are there. But if you don't use them, then it gets ignored kind of thing. It's just, I muted you. All right, you're muted. Okay.
Yeah. Am I better now?
Yeah, you're good now. Yep.
Am I better?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far.
I don't know what's going on. What I was saying before, it's kind of like it's the competition, right? The two different technologies. We used to have VHF Betamax, VHF or VHS 1, right? We used to have Sony Laserdisc and DVDs, right? The Sony Laserdisc
Blu-ray.
was like a size of a record.
Yeah.
And Blu-ray, right? And really, Blu-ray and DVDs made it, but Blu-ray was kind of like the HD, the high quality. Right,
it was high priced and short lived.
Yeah, right.
Couldn't afford it.
Right. But I mean, that's kind of like competition wise. But on the other hand, like when you guys were talking about the ham radio hotline, I'm sorry, landline phones are done. They're ancient. It's not, you're not going to get a younger kid generation to go buy a phone and plug it into the whatever and be like, they're not.
I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, I don't think that it's an opportunity that's missed. I think there's something to iterate on it because a lot of and you were at our club meeting when Paul, the repeater owner, was like, "Hey, I want to get into All-Star and Asterix for our repeaters to be able to do multiple bridging of repeaters and stuff like that." They're using the VoIP technology that we're using in Hams over IP to do that stuff. So it's not a technology to throw away. It's just, how can we make it better in a different way?
So my thought on that is, I don't know how, I mean, I don't understand all that. Like, you guys know more about it than me, but if you wanted to have Ham Shack hotline, the way you would do it is you'd somehow create an app for it and have it on the app, because people aren't going to sit in their shack and they're going to call their phones. Everything is on this. So if this can communicate to everything else, why not have it on that? So I don't know if you have to have the phone.
I knew you were going to do that. Yeah, I still work there and I'm not answering.
What?
Didn't you watch my video when I said kindly that there's only two people in this world that called me, is Tim and Paul? He doesn't even leave me voicemail. So yeah, on my Ham Shack hotline.
Right, because I don't think people are really could get into it. Back in the 80s, it would have been like, yeah, that's awesome. But like now, like who the hell? I mean, I had it on, I set the whole thing up and I never used it. And it just sat there taking up space on my desk. So I just got rid of it. I was like, I'm not using this.
I understand in most cases like that was just like kind of like a touch thing. But like where I could see like Aries, that would be a functional, great feature to have. I mean, I don't think they use it or implement it on their end because the places that they're setting up have internet all the time. I mean, they're on backups to the internet. So if those hospitals and those locations go down.
Right. But Aries is about emergency communications, right?
It is. It's still part of ham radio.
Right. So if all shit breaks loose, the phone lines ain't going to work either.
No, but like voice over IP and internet would in most cases.
The internet would work if there was a...
well, look at Mr. Grouch here. He's on satellite right now, and he's, his hams over IP works perfectly fine on that. He just called me 2 seconds ago. So he's not on a landline. So the capabilities are good. I just want to be like to expand, like you said, Todd, the old days of picking up the phone and talking on the phone. Yeah, nobody does that. But like, how can you make something, better for either emergencies or not, or just functionality? Like, that's kind of my thought is like Paul said, having people that think beyond the box.
Do it together. Have the phone, but also have it connected to an app so people can access it, because you're going to get more people using it on their cell phones than they are on the phone itself. And even if they have to have the phone, but if there was an app that was linked to it or somehow, what?
So there is an app. It's called Groundwire, and it's a ham developed app that ties into hams over IP.
Do you have to have a phone for it?
You have to have an extension on one of the services, but yeah, it ties in. My desk phone was tied to that for a while, so it would ring also on my cell phone, as a soft phone.
Do you have to have the landline phone to
It's not a landline phone. It's just a phone that's connected to the internet.
All right, but do you have to have the phone connected to the internet, or can you just use the app?
And the software on the back end knows how to send the traffic to the smartphone versus the desk phone or both.
So that's how I would advertise it and get people to use it more. Because again,
these phones aren't plugged into the old traditional telephone jack. They're connected to Ethernet.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So what I'm saying is you're not going to get the younger generation, and even our generation. When you guys were talking about all that, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, why? Why do I want to go find a phone?
Because it's fun, because you never know. Like for me, like I look at it like, it's an antiquated technology. Nobody uses desk phones, but I got into it with the idea that, hey, now I can have it talk to my All-Star node, which is now radio to radio and radio to phone. And then beyond that, expanding into other digital networks and stuff like that. So people have been taking those things and making them one step further and moving the bar out farther, with the idea that, hey, we're getting away from, I just pick up a phone and talk to somebody, or I key up a PTT. We can now do it many different ways. And so that's kind of my thought. Is like, okay, well, when we look at stuff in and around us, what can we dream to make things better? Like, I mean, you elaborated on the Bluetooth stuff. I think that's a good idea. Like, why can't they expound on that and make things more useful for us hams, with the idea that adds value and hams will pay for that extra value versus like fighting tooth and nail for it.
And I use this stupid $20 fucking Cisco phone all the time. All the time.
You probably do. Yeah. Because it's your main phone.
What do you use it for?
Calling other hams.
Well, all right. So I've got hams over IP on one line. I've got Ham Shack hotline on another line. And then I've got a regular outside VoIP line.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And so 9 times out of 10, right, my cell phone just doesn't fucking work. My cell phone just doesn't cut it. And so I tell people, listen, if you're trying to get a hold of me, do not call my cell phone. Call 603-377-8008. And I picked that number because it spells boob.
It is not a real number.
No, 100%. That's my real number.
It is?
Yeah. 603-377-8008. I don't give a fuck who has it.
We can't be responsible for the phone calls you're getting.
What is it again?
I don't.
Hey, this is Mr. Job calling.
Yeah.
377-8008.
So what is that? That's
a desk phone that he's got there.
That's my Ham Shack hotline, fucking hams over IP Cisco phone.
So anyone can call that number. So I could call that number on my cell phone to you.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
If you want to.
And you can pick it up.
Ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's going away after the 30th,
I love it.
But
say that
again. Is that line? It's not?
No, because that's an MS dot VoIP line.
Oh, not through Ham Shack?
No, that's a completely separate outside line.
Ah, okay. I thought they offered that as an option. Okay.
I use this phone that I originally bought for Ham Shack hotline for that.
It's flexible enough to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, see.
Here we go.
Wow.
Hello, boob job. How can I help you?
Hello, this is Boob.
How much does that cost you?
So incoming calls are free. Outgoing calls are like I think 2 cents a minute, something like that. Like
small.
It's really affordable, and it gives me the ability to have a quote unquote landline without being tethered to a landline.
So
anywhere I go, I just put my Starlink internet outside and I have access to that phone. So
what happens if for some reason Starlink goes down or you don't have internet? It doesn't work, right? Right. But then my cell phone doesn't work either. So like I'm just tethered to fucking radio at that point. Right. Which is where the RF is always the backup. Right. No, I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's good that you can do that. But like I said, ham operators are always thinking like, okay, what happens if all shit breaks loose, right? Like that's what ham radio is really. Basically,
that's why I have a Paul. I don't think about that.
Yeah. Well, Paul's thousands of miles away from us now.
That's what the OTO said. He's like, Paul's 1,000 plus miles away from you, my friend. Like, well, I guess I gotta get.
I still got you.
At least people reprimand me. But anyway.
I think it's.
I'll just send you to my house.
Now, does that phone that you have now? Is there a way I could, instead of actually calling you, is there a way like I could get on the computer and call you?
Yeah. Yep.
Or an app on my phone if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yep. There's stuff out there that will allow you to do that.
So I guess Linux, that's did Ham Radio Hotline or whatever Ham Shack Hotline, did that do it that way too?
They had some capabilities to do that. They managed it a little bit more, but they exploded fast, I think, and couldn't manage the incoming requests with the volunteers that they had. And I think, and this is getting my speculation, I have no basis from it at all, but it got big fast. And so when things like that in the ham radio world get that crazy, they either explode and fall apart, or they turn out to be like POTA and they just, they figure out how to steer the ship right and make it good and stay on track for the long haul.
And ultimately, it's all in the development team.
Yeah.
So Ham Radio Shack Hotline is dying, is going away.
They are, yep.
Yep.
But ham...
what is it, the end of August?
Yeah, 29th.
How many people used it?
I don't know. They didn't release numbers, but it's quite a big audience.
Yeah, it's several thousand.
So now...
They're up to like 8 digits or 7 digits, so you do the math.
So now everyone is going to go to this ham radio.
Hams over IP.
Hams over IP.
There's another service too out there. I can't remember the name of it, but
so
there are a couple other replacements, smaller.
Are they going to get like swamped and have the same faith as?
No, yes and no, dude. You don't know. Like, I mean, you don't use it, so you're one less person. Paul and I are an anomaly. Heck, we went to Nearfest, and what was on Charlie's, bench? The ham phone I sold him a year and a half ago. So, you tell me, people find value in stuff and sometimes just play with it with the idea that they'll give it away later or sell it off or whatever. But yeah, no, I think we're kind of getting in the technical kind of weeds. I didn't really, wanted to lead us there, but it's okay. We went there because, we could talk forever about, how, ham radio is not serving certain demographic groups, and it might be a good topic to talk about for sure later in the future. But one of the other things I was thinking of that I thought would be like an enhancement. I mean, obviously we want auto upload log to POTA, which is coming, I'm sure, eventually. But what would be really cool along the e-gaming route? Wouldn't it be cool to go up to the spotting page? Because we all encourage all activators to go up to the spotting page. Wouldn't it be cool to kind of do like a gaming or an online gaming option? So you go up to the POTA page, and I don't know how you'd shape this, but like to add that element of like a 1v1 or 1v3, you pick a bunch of other POTA, folks that are on the spotting page activating, and you challenge them to, hey, how many contacts can you make in 25 minutes? Let's see who can, win the top score, and kind of keep a leaderboard in that same way. To kind of add an element of like, hey, you're out in the field with other people that might be halfway around the world or way down in the United States. And, you can throw in a challenge to them through the POTA app to say, this would be cool. I want to see how far, I can stretch my antennas and my, equipment to see if I can beat you in a 30-minute, head to head, and play around in that sense. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool. It would make my activations pretty fun, and I know with N1OG, when I'm contacting him, I could be like, screw you, I'm throwing down the gauntlet, dude. You're not done. We're going to take this on for another 30 more minutes and see who can make, bank here. So yeah, kind of that type of stuff.
Dude, that actually would be kind of cool. Like say I was activating in Iowa, right? Because Iowa's the next state that I need to activate. Right. So I'm activating in Iowa, and you're activating New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont, whatever. and yeah, you be like, all right, I bet that I can make 10 contacts faster than you can make 10 contacts,
gamble,
right? Like,
exactly, yeah. That'd be cool.
And be like, all right, you're on, let's go.
Because like we've all heard the ongoing battle where like Kyle Alpha 0Z is trying to like move e-gaming into the contesting world, and the contesting world's pushing back hard. They're like, no, this is bullshit. We don't do it this way. And they're kind of poo-pooing on him. Why not do it in
because they're old grumpy fuckers.
They are. And I get the fact that it messes up their, nice little symbiotic relationship that they have with, the years of contesting and stuff. But at the same time, like, why not do it in POTA where it's like, heck, everybody would be adapted. It's like, heck, and now I got this little button next to someone I can throw a gauntlet challenge out, and I can ping them really quickly to say, hey, let's do a quick, activation. Or, if they're, in a place that they don't have like internet or cell service, that, we can leverage things like APRS or, other methods that can send those notifications and really just strengthen those tools in better ways than just accepting the fact that APRS sucks and it only or WinLink can only do one thing. It does, but or like using WinLink to be able to leverage kind of that type of thing, and get more people more involved. Like myself, I would actually use my WinLink account and actually send more emails. I'm sure if I had that capability. But having that kind of like sense about it builds more community. It definitely keeps more people more interested. And
I think that's where like Vera, right, really kind of excelled with adding kind of that game element into the software, right? Where like I could be like, all right, Eric, I challenge you to a game of fucking chess.
Yep.
And and like we're playing via RF, but like we're sending signals back and forth computer to computer through RF, like. It just made it a fun thing, like, oh, you sank my battleship, like, yes, I think there needs to be more shift towards technology and especially for these younger folks. God, these younger folks, they have an attention span of like 15 seconds.
Well,
like they need that gaming element.
We could talk about that definitely in another episode, because I think like there's two aspects to this hobby that we should touch on. And one is that we aren't doing enough to reach the 30 to 45 or 48-year-old generation for future, because I think those guys and gals are going to be the ones furthering and continuing on what we already do in the hobby now. But the youth, and I was a youth when I was in ham radio, I was excited about it. But then once I got to like the girls in the cars, well, yeah, it wasn't as cool as it was, and I, didn't get back to it later. But yeah, it's an element that needs to be reached. But like, here's another thing: like, we all did the FT8 off, right?
FT8 off was
why
tons of
FT8,
fun.
I mean, FT8 has Fox and Hound. Well, why can't they just build another module into the FT8 app that says, "Hey, let's do an instantaneous like FT8, leaderboard that it can track all that stuff, and all of the people that want to chime in just check in that they're checking into it, and FT8 within the app, you're now part of this little small little mini game that people are working to get points for the farthest contact, the number of contacts, and let them all track all
every hour it resets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Start something new, and expand on that, build APIs to build out like interfaces for clubs to be able to share that information, or build an ecosystem, because like you got World Radio League, love them, sort of, can't understand them fully. Maybe we should have them on one time, because I know there are people that like it. I've dove into it a little bit. I just can't, like, I struggle, and I understand that they have to have a business model that works for them, but like it's a logging application and they're just adding fancy features on top of it. I haven't seen the value at payout for me, and nothing, slammed to them at all. But like, they're obviously recognizing it. They're seeing that, hey, this needs to happen in the industry. And so they're just expounding on that more and more people are latching onto it. So yeah, it'd be great to be able to like have them build an FT8 leaderboard that, is a little e-gaming kind of component, if that was the place to go. But yeah, that's kind of my thought. I was like, yeah, we have all these awesome tools and we all use them as ham operators, but we all create our own little mini games. Like we were doing FT8 bingo like a couple of times in our club, because we were just looking for things to do and we had to manually create it. So like, it's those kind of things that I was kind of like hoping we can kind of, get people thinking about, because, that actually hopefully gets people, like you were talking about, Paul, with the building, the applications, and then finding the people, because I don't know about you, dude, developers are great at developing, but they aren't great at coming up with ideas. They are the worst people in the world for that. If you give them a task, they'll build something in 10 minutes. But if you tell them to come up with a creative idea, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And, and so, we need the creative folks to interface with the developers and have a pool of developers ready to go at the whim to say, hey, take this idea, run with it, build it. And, let's try to keep it as cheap as possible. But, software is expensive these days, which is sad, but it is such life. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to expand upon? Because I think, we've been going pretty long here, and, but at the same time, it's all awesome stuff.
No, I think at the end of the day, right? Like everything in life, you have to adapt, grow, and change with the times.
Agree.
And with today's technological advancements, like the advancements have far surpassed what people are willing to kind of put out. And I think people need to now start trying to catch up to the technological advancements.
Yeah, totally. It's going to be hard for, we're in a hobby.
Change is hard.
It is. We're in a hobby. We're very much in a hobby with older generation, and that, take it or leave it for what it's worth. But that older generation is not going to be the folks that are going to always carry the torch forward for technology. So us younger guys, even though we're a little older, we're the ones that, we're talking to, guys like you want the hobby to grow. You want it to be there. You want it to come up with it. You got to start kind of pressuring and pushing those ideas forward and start, moving technology with it. Yep. What do you got, Todd?
No, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think technology is something that's always changing, always advancing. And I think if you don't keep up with it, you're going to be forgotten. So, to ham radios, I mean, the one thing that's nice about analog and HF and, any radio is always going to work, but you might be able to do more and have more fun with a more high-tech radio, and convenience too. I mean, like I said in the beginning with the Bluetooth, I mean, I thought you, Eric, what you said about your side of Bluetooth and how it could help, and then just the basic stuff, like just being able to connect it to your car. I mean, how awesome would it be if you could just have the radio connected to your car speakers?
That should be the bare minimum in this day and age, but yeah.
Well, right. But you can't do that.
Yep.
Right? You literally can't do that. And to me, it's sad, and it's I don't know if it's a money grab, if it's people that don't, but I think if for the hobby, if you're going to keep the hobby moving forward and you're going to get younger people and you want to get people to have their radios and connected and put in their cars so people use the repeaters and that kind of stuff when out there, especially the younger generation, you got to make it as easy as possible for them. And if you say to someone, well, you got to put this in, you got to run this wire, and then you got to get an external speaker, and then you got to find a place to mount it, or you could pay like $500 and get this radio, but you can get a cheaper radio, but then you're not really going to hear it, especially if the windows are down. They're going to be like, why am I doing this? And that's where I look at it from. I just look at it as make things like very user-friendly and very simple to use, because that's me. I have enough hobbies and I don't have enough time to study, learn, research, watch 1,000 YouTube videos to figure. I just don't. Maybe when I'm retired, I will.
No.
But right now, in my current state, I don't have time to freaking eat dinner, let alone, I mean, literally, like today, I mean, I've had, 4 days off? 4 days off. Tomorrow's my last day. But I've been nonstop.
I know, dude. We had a whole entire summer where you were like, dude, I'm going to POTA every day. And you did like maybe 2.
Yeah, because it's just,
I barely had time to make a ramen today, and I didn't eat dinner yet.
Right. So, but you know what I'm saying is like, you got to make things simple. Like these kids, you know, my kid's 12 and his friends are not like maybe most of the kids probably out there. Like they're active. They like to go out on their little electric dirt bikes and tear up the town. They like to play their sports. They like to go do basketball and basketball camp and play football and flag football. But at night, they're on their video games. But I don't
playing Fortnite.
Yeah, or whatever else they're playing. But I don't think it's so much that it's like when we were kids, like, oh, I get to play the Atari or whatever, Nintendo 64 or Nintendo, you know, that's what
original NES.
Right. You played it for the game to play the game. I mean, I think they're playing the games, but it's also their social interacting as well.
It's more social interacting than it is even the game sometimes. I mean, like where we were like,
and that's what
ham radio was. Yeah.
Right. And that's where ham radio has to go to a point where you're going to want people to get on the radio, to get involved with the stuff, but it has to be as simple as possible for this younger generation. I mean, look at a kid can go out and say, Dad, I want a PS5 or whatever it is, for Christmas. And then Santa brings it to him for Christmas. And then what happens? The kid goes up, he plugs it in, he plugs a wire into the TV and boom, he's gaming, right? It's pretty much that simple. It's not hard. You give a kid, a 12-year-old or a 16-year-old kid, a 17-year-old kid just got his driver's license and said, happy birthday, here's your first mobile rig, right? They're going to be like, what? You know what I mean?
Oh, great.
What the fuck do I do with this?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if they know what ham radio is, they're still going to struggle. But yeah.
Now, if ham radio was smart, they would integrate ham radio into these new freaking cars with these big screens, meaning the radio would be all built in, just like they are now. Like,
yeah, you missed our black box episode. That's where Paul and I we chit-chatted about that stuff, and my gosh, that was a popular episode for sure.
but I mean, that's where I think it's important, and it kind of frightens me a little bit because I sometimes hear, especially like if we're at club meetings or I hear conversations, that there's a lot of hams out there that don't want that change, and you know, they're not going to be around, and maybe that's their perspective in their point of their life. But for me and even my kids, if they're going to get into ham radio, like if you don't change it, it's going to go away and it's not going to be here. And you're going to lose. If people aren't using the bands, right, on a regular basis, they're going to go away. The government's going to take them and give them to someone else to use.
900 megahertz is already on the way out. Yep.
Right. But again, 900 megahertz, like who's doing 900 megahertz?
Well, Casey was when he told us to buy all the gear, and he's like, I'm getting involved in it. And then lo and behold, I hear that, yeah, don't bother. It's going away.
But it was like, that was too late, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like that was too late, you know? So it's like, we missed the boat. Yep. It came and went, and there's not enough people involved. So it's the same thing with 2 meters, you know, 70 centimeters. If you don't get people on the repeaters or you don't do it, it's just going to go away. And that's why I think it's important that clubs run nets, right? Get other people running, not just one person or two people, like get a lot of different people doing it, keeping the participation up, but also make it accessible. I think our net should be, our repeater should be somehow connected to Echolink so people can get on it if they don't have a radio.
Okay, but so here's the thing.
And that's technology.
I get it, but all the stuff you just talked about, though, is all existing technology. None of it's been improved upon. I mean, yeah, we should take those extra steps to get those components linked. Well, right, but where's the beyond that?
But this is right. I get that, but I'm saying right now and today, the fact that our repeater is not on Echolink.
Oh, the shit's broke. Let's move on. That ship sailed, man. No, I get it. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I mean, I know it's gone, but that's a problem. That scares me because there's no reason it can't be on there.
well, put it this way. I'll put your at ease. It shouldn't be scary because the folks, at least that we have put in as a club, if we're talking a club and you're aware of this, we put people in place that are supposed to make those decisions. And we as an executive team need to help encourage moving those decisions forward. And that's really where I think in that example,
or an all-star link or just
all of the above,
right? All
above,
of it. Like, it should all be available. And it shouldn't just be like, we're just going to use an analog repeater. And that's it.
I agree.
And again, back 20, 30 years ago, great. Yeah, that's awesome. We're awesome. We got a repeater and we can communicate. But now it's like you can expand it even farther. I mean, if I retire and move, or Paul is wherever you are at, are you still in Indiana?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. You're in Illinois.
I have no way of communicating via RF other than HF.
Right. But
to you guys back home.
Right. Yeah. But if we were on Echolink or All Star and you were connected to that, I could get on a repeater, call out, and you could get back to me, whether it be on your phone, your computer, whatever. And you and I could have a conversation. If I retire and move south, I want to still be connected to our club because this is our club. And how do I do that if we don't have it? And that's where I think is where you're going to get people more and more involved, because people are going to be spreading out. And I think in the future, people are going to be moving because everything's going to be remote. Most jobs are going to be remote. So people aren't going to have to stay near the metropolitan areas, and they can go live out in, La La Land up in the sticks of Maine on 100 acres and be by themselves and have Uncle Elon's internet and do whatever they want. But if they can't connect to anyone because they're, they don't have it, not connected to the internet, or they don't have All-Star or whatever, it becomes kind of obsolete, and then people are going to just fade away.
That's where, so I'm really disappointed that Ham Shack Hotline is going away, because I frequently will pull up literally on my speed dial, right on the fucking phone. East Coast Reflector System is my number one speed dial, because that's the speed dial that I use the most, because I don't have a way to get an RF connection into the East Coast Reflector System, but I like being able to communicate with all of the people, whether they're on a Ham Shack hotline or whether they're on an HT talking into a repeater, or whether, they're connecting to the system in some other way. Like, having that versatility is so critical when you're on the move. And I think that, people need to capitalize on all of the ways that we can interconnect these repeaters.
So let me throw this out at you. There's definitely kind of two components to that. I agree with everything you guys said. Like, the one thing that we aren't doing well right now is using all the resources currently we have available to us as hams in the most efficient and, best way in terms of reach. The other piece of it is, I think, also something that Todd alluded to with the whole VE stuff and not proper training and stuff, is the same thing goes with all of the modes like All-Star and DMR and digital, that, one, I'm tired of the fragmented crap that we all have. Like, there should be something more unified. And then there is tools like M17 and things like that are trying to pioneer that stuff. But we as an organization need to make something more broad and wide that a lot more people can all connect on along Todd's lines. Simple, easy, it's an on-off type of switch. It's an appliance kind of function. And you don't have to have a degree in Linux to be able to configure a small All-Star node. Now, we shouldn't take that piece away, because I know there are a lot of hams that love that, and that's okay, because that helps iterate that stuff. But the interfaces, and the funny thing is, like, All-Star as an example, they learned, and I'm watching Freddie Mac's videos, a Ham Radio Crusader, he's done a phenomenal job educating a lot of people on how to use the newer versions of All-Star. And the new versions of All-Star, my gosh, they're freaking phenomenal. They're very easy, almost quick turnkey, how to get them loaded. As long as you have a bunch of the small components to be able to put it all together, you can get something set up in 20 minutes, but the education of that is, I think, where we fall short as hams, because a lot of hams, we're all tinkerers. We all like to do stuff and then we move on to the next thing. We're never around to explain it a lot of times. So the mentoring component that I guess I'm alluding to, that's where I think we got to do more of. So that falls more on our age group, because we're playing with it now. So we should be teaching everybody else and getting everybody else on those, and then start, talking about all the other stuff that we just discussed, like getting more on repeaters, opening our base broad and wide, making all of those capabilities and connections to everybody, and stop, building islands and build, one big giant, happy ham radio home that everybody, no matter worldwide, can all be a part of, which is, I think, a strength, and it's a challenge too, because varying degrees. But the old folks that are part of this generation, they have something they can give. They just need to understand how they can give it. I think a lot of times they just get grumpy, and instead, helping them turn that ship around and realizing, hey, you can be a good mentor. You can share a little bit of something. And I guarantee someone in my age will be more receptive to it versus saying, oh, well, that's just bullshit. It shouldn't be this way. And we were pounding.
That'll never work.
Yeah, exactly. And helping that, I think that will help this go a long way. And it's funny how this kind of dovetailed into a more philosophical approach here, which is totally fine, but it's definitely warranted for sure. I'm sure a lot of folks are in the same boats as us. So yeah, let's put a full stop on this before we get too crazy down the rabbit hole. Because
please let us know your thoughts, though.
Yeah, awesome point. Yep, head over, and where would we do that, Paul?
Oh, either the Discord, send us an email, give us a phone call. Yeah. Was it 978-233-1142?
There it is. Yep, he's got it.
Yeah.
Memorized.
See?
And if you want to call Paul directly, call Boobs, and you'll get him and share your results with him.
603-377-8008. Feel free to give me a call.
Yes, it's not a sexy hotline. You're just going to get Paul and leave your answer. But yeah, head over to our Discord. We'd love to have this conversation, because our Discord's been, like I said, it's been bonfire, all active. People have been showing up. So yeah, let's keep this going. I think it's important, to start those, conversations, and maybe there's something we missed. Maybe you have some like cool little feature that'd be like similar to my POTA head-to-head stuff, or Paul's Bluetooth capabilities for integrating with GPS and all the other stuff in between. So yeah, let us know. Throw it over in the Discord. We'll definitely pick this up again, because I have a feeling we can expand upon because I think we can glean some good nuggets from the generation gap in ham radio, and how to get more youth involved, which can be a challenge for sure. So all right, well, let's wrap this thing up here. So as always, we always say this, but we always mean it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you again for joining and hanging out and listening to another episode of Live Free and Ham, because we love doing this stuff, we love talking about it, and we love hanging out with you guys. And so it's starting to show, and we truly appreciate all that. And we thank for all the support, no matter where you come, far and wide. And we can't thank you guys enough for that. But as always, if you want to participate and be part of that, there's all the things we mentioned before. Head over to our Discord. That link's in our website. That's in all our show notes. You can find everything there and come join that. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Catch all this stuff. We haven't done a ham diaries in a long time. We've all just been super swamped. So we apologize on that, but hey, we'll get back into that a little bit here and there. That we love doing those things, but it's also was one more thing on all of our lists to get done amongst all of our other channels and all the things going on. So we apologize if you were really getting into that stuff and you haven't seen it in a while. But with that, please let us know, what your thoughts are with, over on our SMS link and our voicemail number. Hey, if your club has done some do good stuff too, we haven't done a do good in a long time. And I'm sure you've been doing some cool stuff. So remember, if you got that, you can send it via WinLink and be part of the WinLink ham radio crew of our Type A folks. Or you can just send it to us in a voicemail or an email. Perfectly fine. I'll post it on the Discord, because we actually have a Discord channel over there as well for show notes and updates. And so we'd love to hear you. And with that, you can always help support our show through our Patreon and buy us beer links, because those are super important, help us do all the things that we do and help us get ready for things like our 24-hour POTA, which is going to come up soon. And yes, I've gotten a flurry of emails. I had made some corrections with the caterer and she went on vacation shortly after, and I've been waiting for her to get me the numbers back. I've been literally driving down to her door, at her office going, can I have the numbers, please? I've got people, super excited and want to get this information because they got to make future plans. So those are coming, I promise. I will have all the details for everybody. So if you got to fly here or make plans, let us know, and we will have all those numbers and everything ready for you, because I'm super excited for it. And this is only the small start of it. We still have to figure out how we're going to do all the logistics with the 24-hour side of things and live streaming and everything else in between. So, all good stuff, all great challenges, good fun. So thanks again for supporting us and being part of our Patreon and Buy Us a Beer, and even part of just our regular community there. And as always, you can head over to livefreeandham.com, find everything in our storefront, the show notes, all of our past episodes, all of our live streams, everything in between. And again, as always, thank you again for listening. And from all of us here at Live Free and Ham, 7-3.
3.
77.